Hello everyone, this is Nocturne and welcome back to some more modded Minecraft. We've got a lot I wanted to get done today, so I think I'm going to kind of just go ahead and quickly jump right into some things. But first I wanted to take a second to kind of go back and talk about the texture pack I'm using. Remember way back in episode 1 I was talking about how much I love how true it stays to Minecraft and everything, and also how amazingly fast these guys are at updating textures? Well, since episode 1 was recorded, and this being episode 8, they have already gone and updated the IC2 textures, and just take a look at these bad boys. That's just really sweet looking. And what's cool too is this little dot here will actually light up green when it's on, the furnaces turn red when they're on, the extractors turn green, the compressors I think turn blue. Some really awesome stuff, and the watermills even got a little update too. So the Sortex guys are really awesome at what they do. And with that out of the way, it's time to do a little bit of crafting. I know I said we were going to be working on our Thaumcraft place out over by the awesome tree pair, and we definitely are. I just needed to get a few things together. This is going to be probably a bit more of a building episode, so hope you guys are looking forward to that. I've never really done one myself, so I am a little nervous about you guys liking it or not. So, let's get to it. So first things first, now because it is a building episode, it's not going to be just your plain old vanilla building episode. We've got mods, so we definitely need to go ahead and take advantage of some of the really cool things that all these mods have available. And first off, you guys may remember the dirt blocks I had up on my roof here, up on my ceiling. Well, those are marking out the areas where I was going to need lights to try and finish lighting up the floor, because while I'm okay with torches on the wall, they're not so great looking on the floor. They look in the way. Sure, you can walk through them, but we can do better. So first off, I'm going to make something from red power. It is called the inverted lamp. Now, what's so cool about the inverted lamp? Well, unlike the redstone lamp, pretty sure it's a redstone lamp. It's been a while since I've used the vanilla stuff. This one is always on until it gets a redstone signal, unlike the redstone lamp, which requires you to actually give it a redstone signal to turn on. Now, to make this, we need to first make something called Lumar. In red power, you just make it like this. You need 1 redstone, 1 glowstone, and 2 of the dye you want, but you get 2 Lumar each. And Lumar, I guess you can sort of think, is a mix between the light of glowstone and the power of redstone. So that's what gets you your glowing awesomeness. So, now that we've got Lumar, looks like I actually need a couple more torches, because I wanted to go ahead and craft up all these. It's pretty simple. You just put glass panes along the side, and there we go. Redstone torch on the bottom. If you weren't going to make the inverted variety, you would put redstone dust here. And, oh, looks like I had too many resources, but anyway. Redstone lamps. Inverted gray lamps. Light gray. And I decided to go with light gray, and I'll actually need to make up a couple more of these in a second, because I actually wanted to make 4. I thought light gray might look good right here in the floor where I've got these torches. And as soon as we place them down, light. And it looks not too bad. It doesn't blend quite as well as I had hoped. Probably mostly because it doesn't have a brick texture on it, but it's not bad looking. I might play with this a little off screen and switch it up to something else, but for now, this looks really good. Go ahead and plop down a couple more. And I think I'll leave the one by the door for now. And there we go. Instant light. And we don't even have to worry about turning it on or off. And we can go down here and take a look and see how it looks in the basement, which is something I made off screen a while back and never showed you guys, but just made a little room so we can have some space to work on other things in the future, which we are definitely going to need this space, probably for some power generation, for some item sorting, and for some storage. All cool things to look forward to in future episodes. Next up, I just reminded myself something else I wanted to make. I did end up making a second bat box, because this has made it really convenient so I can put my bat pack in here, charge it up with the 40,000 it has, and then instead of waiting on the water mills to slowly charge it up, I can just plop it into the other bat box, and get the supercharged speed from the box itself, and that works out really well. Unfortunately, it did require me to do this weird little thing with the copper cables, and you got a little bit of a circle going around, and that's not really the worst thing, but it's not really something you want to have happen either. So what do we do about that? Well, fortunately, Industrial Craft has added the ability to paint your lines. And what does painting your lines get you? Well, let me go ahead and craft up a couple of paintbrushes, and I will show you how that works. So you get your paintbrush with the recipe I just showed you, and then you just add your paint to it, and you get, oops, your paintbrushes, your colored paintbrushes. And so now, these two lines, to prevent the loop that could be happening, which could technically waste power, you just go ahead and right-click on this one, and you can see now he's got a little yellow outline. It looks a little different in default textures, but should be easy enough to tell what's going on. And then you paint this one a different color, and they no longer connect. The power of a painted cable. This comes in really handy down the line when you're working with different voltages, and you don't want them connecting because maybe you've got high power coming in the red one, you've got low power coming in the yellow one, and if the high power went into the low power, you might end up with explosions, and nobody would be happy with that happening. So let me go ahead and just drop off a few things here. And I think one of the last things I wanted to craft before we get to building, and since it's nighttime, might as well use our time efficiently. Something that has been bugging me a little bit with using these Tier 1 IC2 machines. It's great that I've got so many of them, and having a second bat box has really helped a lot too, because the water mills can keep all those things charged up nicely. But you guys may have noticed just how slow they are. And you may have also noticed we've got these little slots over here on the right. Well, that's for upgrades. And the one upgrade I want to make right now for you guys is known as the Overclocker. Now, what's so great about the Overclocker? Well, having looked at the IC2 wiki recently to refresh myself on this, one overclocker increases the speed of a machine by 30%. So every overclocker gives you another 30% boost. So after, after one you get 130, and then you get 30% of that, which gets you a little more, and a little more, and a little more. So I think eventually, their example was with 8 overclockers, you end up with 8 times the speed. Now, there is of course a downside, because overclockers, while expensive, aren't too expensive, and so to keep you from going wild with these things, they do end up requiring more power. Specifically, each overclocker requires another 60%. So, while with 8, you get the 8x speed, which is awesome. Very, very, very nice. It ends up taking 43 times as much power as these machines are all taking, and like I pointed out in a little note when I was building these back in episode 5, you can go check the IC2 wiki for the exact specs on what each one takes. It's not too much, but when you stick those overclockers in at 43x power, is pretty darn expensive. And let's see, I think I've got just about everything I'm going to need to make these overclockers. As you can see, it's not too difficult of a recipe. You just need some copper cable, electronic circuit, and these things that we haven't seen yet. Coolant cells, which kind of makes sense. You're making the machine go faster, so you want to make sure it stays cool. These guys aren't too hard to craft. You just need to get yourself a water cell, or water bucket, or anything that holds water, and then surround it in tin. And so you may have noticed in my inventory, I already had some tin ready to go. And I'm going to craft up, actually, I don't even need that many. We'll just do a stack. That should be plenty. I forgot it gives you 4 each, so that's pretty handy. Put my tin back. You guys can see I've been spending a lot of time working through our ores, and this is why I bring up the idea of overclockers. I would like to do this a little bit faster. Okay, got our empty cells. Now, how do we turn them into water cells? It's actually really pretty simple. I'm going to come out here and turn off our water mills, because we don't need them at the moment. And just go and find yourself any infinite spring, any body of water. And just like a bucket, right-click. And there you go, water cell. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here and get a bunch of these going, because this is not the most exciting thing to watch. And I do have to wait for the infinite spring to respawn the center block. And apparently sometimes I'm going to click the deployer, so I'm going to go ahead and get these together, and then I'm going to show you guys some overclockers and just how much of a speed boost we get. So give me a sec, and I'll be right back. Alright, everybody. I did say I was going to go ahead and make the coolant cells, but I kind of wanted to point out something rather important about these, something kind of, well, let's just say really irritating about these. I went ahead and got these all, and I did want to also mention that there are other ways of filling water cells. We don't have that kind of technology just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and make a few of these. I should have space for this. The pain in the butt thing about coolant cells, let me show you. They don't stack. Why? So annoying. But that's okay. I've got a pretty good amount, and I'm going to go ahead and stick these in here. And by the way, Control-Shift-Click moves everything of the same kind from one inventory to the other. Very awesome. And I went ahead and made a project table here just to make this a little simpler. And now I can simply grab myself a few overclockers. And now we can go ahead and make a few more of these awesome things. And we're going to need, let's see, 6 should do good. Nice. And go ahead and put those in there. It doesn't always work every time. You notice just only one went in. I don't know why. I think it's just a weird conflict with inventory tweaks and the other mods and stuff. And I got extra ones, but that's cool, because we're going to be making a lot of these in the future. So I'm just going to go and store all these extra supplies right here. And now, with overclocker upgrades, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a little bit of ore. Let's see, what do we want? Let's do some iron. That would be cool. Okay, macerators. And also I get to show you guys how these things look all lit up. It's really kind of sweet. I really actually like the way the generator looks now. It's almost a nice looking machine for as meh as it is. Anyway, macerator, as you guys are well aware, has a really kind of slow speed. But if we go ahead and add an overclocker, watch this guy speed up a little bit. It's going a little faster. If we go and drop another one in there, and another one. Heck, make it 4. And drop all 6 in there, and whoosh. But now, let's go ahead and watch our bat box. Okay, that one's doing pretty good. But look at this guy. Whoosh. There goes all that power. So, I'm only going to keep, I think, 2 in here at a time. And that's pretty good for now. And now that we've got some iron, by the way, texture when it's on. It's kind of red up here from all the grinding action. Gets a little warm. Lights on. And now the furnace. Now I was cooking up some smooth stone earlier because I needed to make that project table. So we go ahead and dump our dust in here. And you see the electric furnace is actually pretty good on speed already. But go ahead and drop an overclocker. Or 2. Or 4. Oh, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. But again, I'm going to just leave 2 guys in here for now. That's pretty decent speed as it is. And the extractor also can take overclockers, as can the compressor. And I'm probably going to leave these in the compressor because this is the slowest machine around. And you guys might notice some of the nether brick items in my inventory. I also wanted to go ahead and show you guys this cool little trick. If you don't want to go to the nether, or you're having trouble finding another fortress, just plop down a portal, which we'll probably be doing in an episode or 2 so we can get back to civilization. Go ahead and stick your netherrack in a compressor and give it a few seconds. Borrow another... Oh, borrow them both since it's done. See how awesome overclockers are? Amazing. And there you go. Textures on. Stick them in there. And for every 3 netherrack, you get 1 nether brick, which I think is a lot nicer than the vanilla way of handling things in 1.5, having to smelt this into bricks like you do with clay, and then make 4 of those to make nether brick like you do with the regular brick. I like this better. It's cool. This is like infinite resource, and it's only 1 step. Anyway, now that we have our overclockers, Right, shift click sometimes gets confused if you don't have something in here, so watch out for that. And just drop some of them in here, get that guy macerating. And since he's not doing anything, get him macerating too. Awesome. We now have upgraded our system. Now, like I said, this is going to start using a lot more power, so we're probably going to want to do something about that in a few episodes. But, again, I've probably been doing this for almost half the episode, and we really need to get on to building our Thaumcraft house. So if you guys give me a second here, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I've got everything I need, and I will meet you out there. Alright guys, one sec. Okay, I lied. I forgot. There's one more thing I wanted to craft, but don't worry, it's actually related to the Thaumcraft build we're about to do. This is something that is coming from factorization. It's another lighting technique, because like I said, we are definitely going to be doing all sorts of mod-related builds today. And this one, we're actually going to need to go outside for, because it's a little dangerous to make. Factorization adds this really cool thing called a wrath lamp. Unfortunately, you can't just make it so simply. It's got a few things you need to craft first, and the first one is a wrath igniter, which is an awesome thing all in itself, and I'll probably be going into some more detail about that in a future episode. But first off, you're going to need to get yourself some diamond shards, and unfortunately, you can't just go into NEI and ask for the recipe. No matter how many times I press R, nothing's going to show up. So how do you make one of these? Well, you could go and check out his forum page, or you can take the shortcut and just type packet, which I'm guessing he didn't realize he left in, and go up here and find this blue craft packet. And you'll notice it says obsidian TNT, TNT, block of diamond, TNT, obsidian TNT. That's pretty much telling you exactly what is in this recipe. It's very much like the project plans, except it's used for factorization. And so if you go ahead and make yourself something like this, you end up with this craft packet. And if you have, once you have the craft packet, you need a way of... Wow, the Thaumcraft gods are very angry. Once you have your craft packet, you're going to need a way of actually stamping the packet into the item that you actually need. And for that, you end up making yourself a little craft packet stamper. Very simple, crafting table, piston, some iron. And once you make this, you just stick your craft pack in there, and bam, I believe it gives you 18 shards. Really kind of handy. It is a little expensive on diamonds. Like it said, it takes a diamond block. But once you have it, it's just like a flint and steel. There you go. Except it's with the diamond shard and a nether brick, and you get yourself a wrath igniter. Now, something else we're going to need is another item added by factorization, and that is dark iron. And I'm actually kind of thinking this is a really cool thing we're going to be doing, because, you know, Thaumcraft is sort of like the dark arts, and factorization has this really cool dark iron and sort of a mystical way of making it. So what you do is you take your iron blocks, and yes, they need to be iron blocks, and now that you've got them placed out in the world, you'll notice I'm far away from anything flammable. This is on purpose. So now we take our wrath igniter, and like I said, this thing can be a little dangerous. It's like a flint and steel, but as soon as you click on any one type of object, so like block of iron, grass, marble, dirt, cobble, you end up with wrath flame. And this thing burns very, 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 very hot. Very hot. You want to keep your distance. And slowly it's going to start heating up this iron until it reaches a real nice cooking point, and it starts turning into dark iron, as you can see. This is the only really good way, the only way really, to get dark iron, and you want to be careful, because eventually once it's done, it will leave real fire, which can spread. But the good thing about the wrath fire is that it will only burn the same type of item that you clicked on, so that's why you didn't see it spread to the grass, because I only clicked on this. It's smart enough not to travel to other types of blocks. So, now that we've got our dark iron blocks, we can go ahead and just mine it up, and we are now rolling in dark iron. Now, the conversion process does end up using a bit of your iron resources, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. You just burned up a bunch of iron to turn it into this compressed dark iron. So when you uncraft it, you only get 4. But that's fine. You end up not needing too terribly much of it. There's not a whole lot of items available in factorization at the moment. I mean, technically there's a lot, but the amount of dark iron you need for each recipe is not too terribly bad. Okay, so after all that setup, we've got everything we need to go ahead and make our very first wrath lamp. And it's pretty simple. You just craft it up like this. I think I've got the glass panes and silver in the right place. And the last piece, now that we've got our dark iron, silver, and glass panes, stick your wrath igniter in the middle. Oh, and I did mix them up. Oh darn. There we go. And you get yourself a wrath lamp. And don't worry, the igniter is not used up in the recipe, but it will use a little bit of the damage value. And you can see it went down a little bit. And we're good to go and use this thing again. And by the way, I wanted to thank Merrick for contributing the diamond shards so we could make this. Thank you, Merrick, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to also mention we actually got a few people on the server today, so if you guys wanted to go ahead and say hello to all the wonderful people of YouTube.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Yep.
I'm not really
How's it
on
going,
the
everybody?
server.
Well, you're on TeamSpeak, so that's good enough. And you are on the server, you're just not on the server at this very moment, so...
Yeah, you'll know why later.
Yeah, Rick's got a really kind of funny episode that's going to be going up later today or tomorrow my time, which will probably be up for a few days by the time you guys see this episode. Anyway, while we were talking, ran all the way over here, and this, I believe, is where we are going to finally build... and don't worry, I will get back to talking about the wrath lamp. I just wanted to get to building first. This is where we are going to be building our Thaumcraft house. And I finally have a pretty good idea. You guys can see I've been laying things out a little bit. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, I'm not entirely sure how much you guys are going to enjoy a build episode from me, but I'm going to give it a shot. It's something new for me, so I hope you guys enjoy. And now that I've actually finally have an idea, and it's finally done, we can get to work on this. And so, as I mentioned earlier, this is Thaumcraft, so it's kind of the dark arts. So I figured we'd go with a bit of a dark theme, hence all the nether brick. Because it's kind of a really cool color, and I think it's going to work out nicely. And also, I finally went and spent some time mining up some zirconium so we could have these really cool zirconium blocks. I think they're going to make a really great accent, especially in this texture pack. With everything we got going. Let me go ahead and show you real quick. So we've got our nether brick. We've got our awesome glowing red zirconium block. Look at that thing. The texture moves and everything. And then we've got our black zirconium block. Not entirely sure how I want to use all of these just yet, but I think it's going to be a really fun pattern. So first off, I'm thinking this is going to be sort of a dual layer. Now, I don't know about dual layer, but we're going to have sort of an inner area. Then we're going to have a little walkway around, and the roof's going to extend out beyond. And I'm actually kind of basing this off of a picture I looked up a little earlier, and I might go ahead and show that to you guys right now. You guys can kind of probably see it. It's got a little bit of almost a 2 or 3 layer looking roof. I'm going to see what I can do about replicating that, but with Minecraft blocks it's a little tricky. Anyway, that's kind of the idea I'm going with. So I'm going to go ahead and place down the floor first. And I already kind of have in my mind where I want all the Thaumcraft goodies and toys to go. That's why you see all these torches all over the place. I'm not that paranoid about mob spawns. And go ahead and drop a few more, cover this floor. Let's see, while I'm doing this kind of boring thing, what are you guys up to on the server?
Making a house.
Very nice. And that's Black Flame, by the way, everybody. As I mentioned back in episode 1, he too is doing an LP on this server. So you want to go check that out. I'm sure you're going to love it. What are you up to today? Like episode 14 or something, I think?
I'm not actually recording at the minute, but I did like a 2-hour, 54-minute long episode 10 yesterday.
You did a 3-hour episode?
Yes.
And you're uploading all 3 hours at once?
I was going to, but it turned out it was going to take on my internet about 3,000 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, that's a little excessive. You were gonna say something, right?
Do it. Should have just did it, man.
Alright, so where I'm knocking these torches down, this is where some of the items I'm going to want are. This is staying open for a reason, and we might need to go visit the Nether to get what we need for here, which should give you guys a pretty good idea of what that special item is going to be. And yes, I'm being a little lazy. I am not digging up the grass and placing the Nether brick down there. I'm trying to be a little conservative with my Nether brick at the moment. This one's going to be our door, so I'm leaving that guy open. And this is actually looking pretty good. The roof is going to be a little tricky. Like you guys saw in the picture, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to replicate that, but this is like a whole new learning experience for me, and I kind of look forward to it. And let's see, how am I going to get up there? Nope, there we go. And this is probably going to be a multi-episode build since we spent so much time crafting early on. So I hope you guys don't mind this is going to be done in one episode. Or I hope you weren't expecting it to be. And let's see. This is where I'm thinking the top of the roof is. That's why this block is up here. This is about as high as I want to get. And so from here, I'm thinking... this is sort of the way I was going to try and... Whoops. I might need to make a jetpack one day just so I can hover and show you guys some of this stuff without... killing myself. Alright, Flame. See you later.
Bye.
So yeah, this is kind of how I was thinking of handling the multi-tier roof. Maybe use some half slabs in here. It doesn't quite have the overlapping look I was looking for, but I'm not entirely sure how to do that. So, I don't know. I would definitely open to suggestions from you guys on how I could accomplish this.
User disconnected from your channel.
Yeah, and there goes Black Flame. Come on, click, click, click. Okay, it doesn't want to click. Alright, well, I think you guys have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to be doing this, so I'm going to go ahead and get the main structure built here. Doesn't seem like we've got too much to talk about on the server at the moment, so I don't want to bore you guys too much with just watching me place block, place block, place block. So let me go ahead and get a little more on this, and I'll get back to you when I think we're ready to do some of the more detail work. Alright guys, just a quick little update. Figured I'd keep you guys apprised of how things are going. Forgive the rain, it always seems to do that around here. But this is what I got so far. I think it's coming along pretty well. Just got some walls, got some lights, and I'm starting to put down some stairs and half slabs. Not a whole lot yet, but I really love the way the nether brick looks in this texture. The red they used is, I don't know, it's perfect. I can't really think of a better word. It looks great. So I'm going to get back to placing stairs and half slabs and see what I can do about making the roof come to a nice cool looking point. And yeah, I will check back in. We are getting close to the end of the episode, but I wanted to try and at least get something going with the roof before that, because then we'll go ahead and work on accents and really get into some of the Thaumcraft cool stuff next episode. So give me a few, and I'll be back with a little more progress. Alright, everybody. Finally figured out something to do with the roof, and I think this place is actually looking really nice. It seemed a little too much red now, but that's kind of what some of the accent work's going to be for later, but I'm actually really happy with the way this turned out. I finally figured out a cool way to do the gap in the roof. It struck me, you know, we've got all these mods, and hey, wait a minute. There's that Red Power 2 diamond handsaw that we made earlier for microblock purposes and cutting those silicon boules. Well, I went ahead and took some of the nether bricks and cut them into little slab strips. And the way I ended up working that was made this little gap here, got the brick here, and then I went and put the little strip right in here, and it gives us that really cool looking overhang look and feel. And that, I think, works out pretty nicely. Again, there's like almost too much red now, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. But this I thought was really cool. I was really happy with myself when I came up with this. And ended up going a little higher than I thought, but I figured it would look better to come to a point than just kind of have a flat roof. It seemed to fit better. And got the same thing going over here. And you can see I got the little walkway going all the way around. Decided to go with some nether brick fence for just to match in. And over here you can see we got a little bit of wood covering the hole that was there. And on the inside, I don't know what to do on the inside. I'm thinking maybe put the ceiling here and then sort of have like almost a storage room in the attic. Kind of makes sense. And one of the last little things I wanted to show you guys before we close out today's episode. Went ahead and did one more thing with the diamond handsaw. And you guys might notice that it's kind of inset like this. Having the... Oh, man, that has happened so many times. I think we're going to need to craft ourselves some new boots at the beginning of the next episode just because I'm tired of falling off my roof. Anyway, it is inset here, and I didn't like the way the full block looked, so I went ahead and made some spruce strips. Like you can see, I know I only made the 4 of them, but went ahead and made spruce strips, and that actually looks kind of cool. Definitely looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say, what kind of suggestions you have for this design. Again, it's very, very red. It's a lot more red than I was thinking, probably because I wasn't thinking I was going to make such a tall house. But overall, I really do like the way this looks. We're going to be adding glass and lights, and I will be explaining the wrath lamp again. And since I'm just going to be showing things around for you guys real quick, let me go ahead and do this. Just so you guys can get a kind of a nice 360 all the way around view. Maybe give some of you guys some more ideas for how we can make this thing look. It's a little bulky, I guess, too. I wasn't really sure how to nice and cleanly round the edges. This maybe is too much. Maybe I should have done something like that with the microblocks. I'm not really sure. But for the most part, this being my first attempt at building something kind of nice, I think it turned out really well. But again, I think that's about all the time we've got for today's episode. I wanted to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the cool stuff that we made and crafted and the beginnings of our new Thaumcraft house. Hey, I took myself out of... There we go. Alright, just so you guys know, I'm not doing that. I just wanted to show you guys the house. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. And we're going to go ahead and pick up next episode with some of the decorating, the other cool stuff, how to use the wrath lamp, and we're going to finally go ahead and placing some of these blocks. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get some glass panes for here, which are actually going to be temporary, as Thaumcraft adds some really cool glass of its own that we'll be using when we get to it. And I'll probably go ahead and make a few doors, and maybe an obsidian pressure plate or two, and I'll explain about those next time. So once again, I wanted to thank you guys for watching. This has been Nocturne, and I will see you guys again later.